us on Southwest Florida tonight. It's all over a single national news story that's gone viral. And at the center of it is the owner of Seed to Table Market, who spoke with one of the most watched morning shows in America.
A Naples grocery store going viral for not requiring masks inside.
Alfie Oakes is making national headlines.
Alfie Oakes, genuinely interesting guy. Thanks for coming on.
Opposing protests coming face-to-face at Seed to Table Market in Naples today.
Protesters battled against voices from Oakes Farms employees who tried drowning their message. Fired up workers even showing allegiance to the company and their boss.
Alfie Oakes, the owner, called the Black Lives Matter movement and the coronavirus pandemic a hoax.
Our company did $550 million last year in sales. I provided enormous opportunity for so many people. A lot of people told me it wasn't going to work. The USDA in this country started putting all these chemicals into our food.
Pasteurization offers quite a potential in food preservation.
We've watched the degradation of health in our country.
Tons of criticism on social media, but here, take a look at this parking lot. It is packed.
Only in America can you grow up poor with no money and live your dream. My name is Alfie Oakes. I'm a produce huckster and founder of Oakes Farms, Seed to Table. It's hard sometimes to even know how it came to be possible or how I got from there to this dream vision. Everything good? Yeah, man. Yeah. Retail's been my passion, but along the way, we went into processing for a lot of large chains. We do food distribution. We have a seafood distribution business, a repack business. We have a trucking company, and we also have our own logistics company. And then, of course, we farm. We have 3,000 acres that we farm. We have a lot of farm partnerships. So we've kind of got our hands in a lot of things. The biggest single thing that I've ever done as far as just the amount of money that we put into one particular thing is the Seed to Table store. That's the store that went viral, that we decided to be bold and not mask and everything. And that store's been open now for about 1.5 years. I had this vision from at least 15 years ago of an experiential store that would not just be your standard grocery store with all those aisles and everything. It was two thoughts in mind. It was one, that I'm going to make all healthy stuff. We're going to make every single thing from scratch. There's not going to be anything in the store that has an ingredient on it that you don't know what it is. That's not a simple ingredient. So that was the premise, but we're going to do it on this big scale. And then the other part was to make the environment fun. And as I started really concentrating on how I was going to do those things, the vision of the store just kind of blossomed in my mind. We were asked earlier, like, what is the most important, what's the best thing about the store? And it is about the amazing customers we have here, the amazing employees that we have here, and the amazing product that we sell. And those three things are what makes this the happiest place in the universe. Peak season, we'll have 100+ items every single day that are coming in from the farm that are picked that morning. Freshness is key. So I want to bring everyone through the kitchen to see where the real magic happens. How you doing? My dream is not about how much money we do, how much money I make. How's it going? How you doing? It's about the integrity of the way that I live my life. What's going on, baby? How you doing, man? Hello. How you doing?
Good to see you.
How you doing?
Very good. And I'm so happy to work for this wonderful man over here.
It's about being able to live my dream, and that is only in America. It's not been without ups and downs. I've been totally broke 3 times in my life. I'm gonna go to the house that I grew up in. Before I moved to Florida here to this place, the first place that I lived in was a little trailer park in Delaware City, Delaware. So I lived right here. This was the first place when we moved from Delaware, moved into this neighborhood here, which is East Fort Myers. My best friend from over here, his house had a dirt floor, and they had way more money than we did. If I cut back and say the reason that we got into the produce business is my grandfather started just as a way to make a living, put produce out on the road and started selling it. Then my dad ended up opening up a produce stand. So when I was born, it was like a natural thing to open up the produce market. My father opened up his first store when I was going into 3rd grade. We'll be coming up on the store that my father had. This is actually this store here. And it's funny when you go back, especially like coming from seed to table, we go back to this store that was in our family for 20 years, and it seemed like a fairly good sized store to me at the time. And now I look at it, it's really, really incredible how small it is. But I worked there until I was 15 years old. I would even ask him at times if I could spend the night at the store and work all night. From that point on, I realized that I loved the business. And I started taking a lot of pride in what I was doing. When I was 15, I just went out and started selling product on my own. That's the passion. Now, I did have a different thread running through me to try to make money. So I just always kind of entrepreneurial. And my second year in business for myself, we had the most devastating freeze in the history of Florida. Is the Christmas freeze of 1989.
Right now in Orlando, the wind chill factor is 4 degrees.
Central Florida power companies are staging rotating blackouts tonight in order to make sure we have enough electricity to get...
And I basically lost everything. I figured out a way to grab some money together and went to Honduras, and I started buying these tomato fields. The very night that I loaded the first load, it froze in Mexico.
And then people started coming into Honduras to buy the tomatoes. Why I already had them locked up.
That was very fortuitous for me. In maybe less than 4 months, I made close to $1 million. And I'd never seen any money like that. No one in my family had ever seen any money like that.
So you fly to Honduras. Do you speak Spanish?
No.
You don't speak Spanish, but you wind up cornering the Honduran tomato market and making $1 million.
Yes, it was very.
Okay, I just want to pause and note that's not a typical story.
To make it easy, within 3 years, I was dead broke again. I bought a bunch of equipment, went farming, didn't know what I was doing, and just lost all the money back. The year after that, I was just dead broke. No money for food, no money to pay rent or anything like that. That year, no one planted up in Charlotte County where I planted. And what happened is the hurricane came through. Then I was able to make a crop up there where no one else had anything. I felt like God had given me a second chance. That's when I bought the Oakes Farm store on Davis. It was a big leap for me, and I fell into another trap. I brought a guy on to help me. That was a big mistake because he cleaned all the money out. I had like $500,000 of money that came in. So I was in bad shape. And it took me 7 or 8 years to pull out of that, like every single day to chip away at paying those people back and getting myself back up on track. I did nothing but run the little retail store for that 5 years, basically 6-7 days a week. Those years were maybe the toughest years of my life because I knew where I wanted to be, but it was really hard to get there. As we came out of that in 2003, and I had made good on every single farmer, they were happy and we started doing business again. And even right now, so we're 18 years later, I'm still doing business with almost every one of those farmers, and we have great working relationships. When the hurricane came in 2016, just about devastated our company. And during that time, there was a lot of people around town saying, "Oh, that store's never gonna open, that guy went broke." When we opened, it was 3 months before COVID hit. Now, a lot of people would think that's a bad thing. Like, oh, you have a $35 million investment in the store, which I was 100% leveraged all on the hook. And it didn't turn into a bad thing for us. We came out bold against the Black Lives Matter, and we went bold against calling COVID, somewhat of a sham in the way that the government's handling it. I just gave everyone the option. The most amazing thing is no one, 0 people died. So much of our staff is so thankful that we had this place where they could work and come to work happy. And I would see people come in and I'd see their eyes light up, and then they'd look and they'd see no one was wearing masks and everyone was happy, and some people would just come to tears. As I learned more, and I learned a lot about health and nutrition and food that's good for you and food that's bad for you, I honestly get almost ill when I go through a lot of different grocery stores. And unfortunately, our perception of health in this country has been skewed so much by the pharmaceutical companies, by money. When we look at what mainstream America is consuming right now, it's loaded with all types of different toxic chemicals. In 2009, the Obama administration allowed, through the FDA and USDA, they allowed pink slime to be put into this hamburger meat and still call it 100% pure beef. When we look in the center of the store and we see every ingredient in almost every one of those national brands, we're poisoning the American people, and we're poisoning them intentionally, I believe. This is their plan, and it's a plan to control you, and if you don't get ahead of it and pay attention, you're gonna be feeling the results of this insanity. It's one big scandal, because the same companies that are selling the pharmaceutical companies when people get sick happen to be the same companies that are creating these seeds that are genetically modified, the chemicals that are poisonous that we're putting onto the farms. They're even coming up with the processes by which the farmers farm. I'm watching inflation on our farm input costs going up in numbers to 300% to 400%. I've never seen anything like this in my life. They're financially putting the bullet in the farmers' heads across this country. Never in my life have I felt like our whole country was at risk more than it is right now, at the possibility of actual near starvation. But this is very intentional, and it's intentional because they want to control our population. They don't want you to be self-sufficient. They don't want you to be able to take care of yourself. They want you dependent on the government.
All these things are happening for a reason. There's powers at play that are causing it to happen. And we know that the way that you can control a society is you control it with food.
So as it pertains to fitness, I have a very active lifestyle, and an active lifestyle is important. People say, oh, you work a lot, and I'm guilty of working a lot. In my spare time, in my hobby time, I've always been more into the extreme sports. I like kite surfing, barefoot water skiing, wakeboarding, spearfishing, scuba diving, things of that nature. As far as my hobbies go, as I've grown older, growing up in North Fort Myers around a lot of rednecks, I got to be pretty familiar with guns at that time. So we have this amazing island property, and for hobbies, we go out there and just have fun. We have some tannerite from time to time. We'll make some big explosions. A friend of mine just bought me a grenade launcher, and it's got 3 different types of grenades. So I'm anxious to see what kind of fun that's going to be.
Freedom, baby. Work hard, play hard. Only in America.
This store just turned into all patriots, and it's all people that love this country, and it's just an amazing energy every day of the year here. And although I have all these other businesses going on, this is the place that I enjoy most. I've lived the American dream. I started out, I don't consider myself to be that smart. I consider myself to always apply myself to my very best of my ability, and to try to really care about people. And you have to first find something that you're passionate about and that you love. At the times when I wasn't making money, or I was making money, if you're doing what you love every day, then that's really what matters, because you're going to be happy all through your life, especially if you find a dream that you can chase, because more of it's in the chase than even when you get it. You find out as you start to accumulate things or do better, that life is this zero-sum game. It's not about what you end with, so it's more about the ride. And when you take the paradigm of living your life where you let go of all that happened in the past, if it goes bad, then I'm happy. If I'm broke next year, I guarantee you I got a huge smile on my face. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't worry about what other people think about you. That's worry about what you think about yourself. I wouldn't trade who I am for anyone in the world. I love the experiences I've had. I can't wait to see what the direction of the rest of my life is, of where this amazing energy is going. I've been told by many that I live the American dream, and I can tell you that I'm certainly living my dream and blessed every day to be doing everything that we're doing.